I'd like to just tell you a little bit about what the book is about and what's in the book. I'm going to give you two quotes. I like researching. I've got quotes from two people who have absolutely nothing to do with fell running, but to me they had a certain resonance with what is in this book. The first is from Condoleezza Rice, as you know, a well-known mountain runner from America, former USA Secretary of State. She said, "People who end up as first don't actually set out to be first. They set out to do something they love." I think that theme comes through in the book. And the second one is from Sarina Wiegman, the England women's football manager, who said, "We should always remember the ones who went before, as they have made a path for us." And again, I think that's a very relevant theme of this book. I was very fortunate that Jasmine Paris agreed to write the foreword to the book. I'm just going to read a little bit about what Jasmine has said in the foreword. "I'm immensely grateful to the woman who paved the way for my generation to compete in fell races as equals with our male counterparts, free to run the same courses neck and neck, sharing the highs and lows, and ultimately the joy that time spent in the mountains brings. Throughout this book, many of those ladies point out that at the time they were simply enjoying running in the hills and didn't consider themselves as pioneers. Yet, if needed, that group of fearless women ready to pursue what they love to do and to defy expectations and constraints of society, to open the floodgates for the involvement of women in fell racing and to normalise their presence and to push increasingly for equality in terms of opportunity as well as achievement on the hills." So that's a thought from Jasmine Paris, as many of you I hope know is a leading fell runner of this generation who regularly beats all the fellas. I wrote a little bit in my prologue. I'd just like to read you a small bit of that. "In researching this book, I spoke to many people involved in the early days portrayed within. I tried to reconstruct the story of this era, the second half of the 20th century, and the issues and actions involved with a fairly arbitrary cut-off at the turn of the millennium. The basis of the story is the barriers and struggles encountered in the personal courage and self-confidence shown by athletes doing things because they wanted to. What I hope makes for interesting reading is it is predominantly told through the words of those early pioneer women, many of whom have said how much they enjoyed looking back over their running careers, some of which are still ongoing."